Giacomo, we were talking about your kids. I have two boys, and they're born in Canada, right? And now you move back to Brazil. But comparing the time, you're raised in Brazil, right? In south of Brazil, right? So your childhood is in south of Brazil. You look back and the way you live your childhood, and today your kids are Canadian and Brazilian, Canadian Brazilian, and live in Brazil. What's the difference? For the Giacomo was a kid, for your kids were Canadian, was raised in here and moved back to Brazil.
Well, I find that traveling and experiencing different culture only helps you to grow and helps you to see your limitation, accept other people's culture, and you start to set those boundaries where you understand that the world is not only your culture and what you believe. So it makes you more flexible and understand better people. So yeah, growing up in Brazil, I lived there from, same small town. It's a coastal town in south of Brazil. Very small town where basically, you live with your family and you know everyone everywhere you go. So it's a pretty chill. It's a really good way of life when you're a child. But as you grow up and you need to explore, you need to find work, and it becomes a little bit tough. But when I was 17, I actually moved to California to pursue jiu-jitsu in college. So I convinced my parents to go to California as long as I learned English. So I wanted the real reason was jiu-jitsu because, 2007, there was that boom of jiu-jitsu in California, World Championship moved there. So that was the reason that I went there. But I ended up coming to Canada, and that's where my kids were born. And then, again, my kids were basically raised into Canadian fashion, right? Like we really took in the culture, and they live like basically like Canadians. And now going back to Brazil, I feel that they have a culture shock in Brazil, and it's the same that I had moving to Canada. But once you go through those first adaptations, I think it's only good for a person to experience different cultures.